Hey, Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And welcome to episode 430.
Yeah!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. It's been a little while since myself and Adam have recorded. We've been busy with stuff, travel, work, life stuff. It's all been going on this year. Bit of a crazy one, but we are back behind the mic for more Doctor Who. We both hope you have had a wonderful couple of months since we last recorded. We hope you've managed to do something Doctor Who
Related.
I held back there.
Yeah,
for you.
You let me have that one for old time's sake.
Yeah. Oh, when did we last record? I can't even remember.
Oh, it's been a while, isn't it, mate? I mean, we do keep in touch, listener. It's we do chat via the WhatsApp group, and we kept saying, yeah, if any big news drops, we'll jump on. And nothing. It's been a bit tumbleweed, isn't it? And then we had the old missing episodes thing, and we were like, oh, should we talk about that? But it kind of fizzled out. And then, just when we thought everything had gone dead, we get some big news dropping. So we were both like, right, let's do it. Let's take this opportunity to get back behind the mics. Although you still do the round table. I was listening to that this morning, the latest round table with Maria and that. That was a good listen.
Oh, yeah. That went out yesterday. Yeah. We spoke about some news that we're going to talk about, just albeit a bit more briefly. And then we dived into those guys wanting to look at the Aztecs, which is a
great story
that you and I rated very highly back in the day. Yeah. A good one, that.
It is good.
Yeah. So you and I last recorded episode 427 in June.
Wow.
That was the finale of season 2, Shooty's last episode. The reality war. Yeah. Bless him.
I have to say, mate, it's that did... I did need a break from Doctor Who after that finale. I'm not going to lie. I think I actually said as much to you. It's not just been that there's been nothing really to talk about, but that finale kind of finished me off. It left a bad taste. I'm not going to lie. And I did have to take a bit of a break from Doctor Who. It's like an old friend that I just needed to keep at arm's length for a little while before I remembered how much I loved them. I'm ready to embrace it again now, but I had to step away after that last season for a little bit, I think. And plus I ended, I'm back in the US now as well, which has obviously made recording a bit more difficult because of the time zones and stuff. But yeah, it is good to be back though. I got to say, it's good to be back behind the mic, and hopefully we've got some good stuff coming up with this spin-off and stuff and whatever else is happening next year.
Indeedy. Yes. Yeah, so Adam and I thought we'd hop on and talk about some of the big news stuff that's landed in the last 48 hours, I think. It's one of those times where I said this on the round table episode that we did last night, that when you and I were recording years ago, we would have news to talk about pretty much every week. It was nuts. We used to have a proper news segment, and then we had to do a dedicated merch segment, and there was always stuff going on. And then these days, it just goes on. Even when there's new Doctor Who on, it feels like there's just weeks and months of tumbleweed and nothing, and then all of a sudden it's just all hands on deck because the big news has dropped and all that stuff. So the good old days, mate, of having loads to talk about all the time with Doctor Who. It's crazy. Well,
I hope so, mate. I mean, I nearly scrolled past the news, I'll be honest with you, because they sort of, the BBC put out this picture like this TARDIS in a vortex, a sort of very generic picture, and I was just sort of, scrolling my screen, and I saw the picture sort of go past a couple of times. I thought nothing of it. And then, I don't know, I must have just stopped on a certain tweet and realised it was actually an announcement, which obviously we're going to come to. I don't want to jump ahead. So I kind of nearly missed it, mate. And the reason for that is I wasn't really expecting this to drop, if you know what I mean. It's because of everything surrounding the show at the minute. I think I felt like this was not a bit of a bolt out the blue. But I just wasn't really expecting this to pop up on my feed this soon, if you like. So I nearly missed it because of that. I was just like, oh, whatever. What's this now? TARDIS picture? I was just like, what's that?
Indeedy. Same. Yeah, I think we were all a bit, what's the word?
Taken aback?
Taken aback a little bit, yeah, because we'll get onto it in some bit more in depth in a minute anyway. But so that story broke, and we were chatting in our group chat with the guys, with the writers anyway, about that news, and I thought, right, let's get myself and Adam back on to talk about this, because it's kind of it's one of those stories where we'll definitely refer back to this moment in years to come, where it's a bit like people refer back to the moment when McCoy's era came to an end and all that ended. And then things started back up in 2005. Everybody remembers that moment. And then those big moments where Doctor Who's seemingly ending, but it's not. There's just a new showrunner, a new actor. So I feel like it's going to be one of those moments where in years to come, where we're talking about whatever's happening at that time, we'll refer back and be like, oh, do you remember when we thought Doctor Who was going to get kiboshed again, but they didn't. They announced it was coming back, and we had the Crimbo. So so it's one of those stories that warrants a bit of chat, we thought.
Definitely, yeah.
And then we also got the War Between the Land and the Sea update as well,
which has just dropped. We've had some good, exciting updates on that today, literally just before we record. So that's nice timing. So normally it's just after we record, isn't it? Normally we stop and put it in the can, and then we open our phone, just like, some other big news has dropped. So it's like, but it's actually good timing for once. For once, yeah, because that happened all the time. Yeah. All the time. Yeah, I think there was actually a couple of episodes going back over the years, just a couple where we were doing news and I would message you while we're recording and say, this has just landed. Do we want to talk about it now or next week? So... yeah, but the stars have aligned on this one, which is cool. You wait. We'll finish recording and shut the laptop and open our phones, and they'll say, "Oh, Marco Polo's been recovered. It's coming out for Christmas or something." Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah. So before we crack on with all of the news, dear listener, thank you very much for coming back. If you're a new listener, if you've just found the Big Blue Box in your podcast app of choice or on the website, then welcome very much. And also the grizzled ancients, the long-time listeners, welcome back as well. Make sure that you're following or subscribing to the podcast in your preferred podcast app of choice. That way you won't miss new episodes when they drop, whether it's myself and Adam doing these ones where we do reviews or just news, or the monthly roundtables with the writing team. They're always a bunch of fun to listen to. So make sure you're doing that. On the website, you can also listen for free, but you can also check out all of the articles and reviews and the event rundowns and editorials from the writing team. Loads going on the website. And there's also links there to go off to all the different social channels that we're on. So give us a like and a follow on those, because we chat lots of Doctor Who in between these episodes and everything. And we also have a link to our Discord server, which is a really cool place to come and hang out and chat all things Doctor Who. There's always lots of chat there from guys doing just general thoughts on what's happening in the world of Doctor Who, but also things like collections and events and Comic-Con chat and lots of stuff going on. It's a very safe, chill, nice place to come and talk Doctor Who. So hop in there. The link's on the website. Come and chat lots of Doctor Who with other people. And also, I mustn't forget to remember, but you don't forget to remember to go and check out Adam's channel on YouTube. It is, of course, The Geek's Handbag. The Geek's Handbag. Yeah, go check out my YouTube channel. I've got some, I'm not to blow my own trumpet here, but I've got some really cool videos coming out. I've been a bit quiet on the old YouTube of late, but I've been working hard. and a couple of videos that I'm really looking forward to putting out there. One of them where I find 3 shelves worth of Target books over here in the US, and
Wow.
I spent about 6 hours in the shop just going through them. So there's some cool videos on the way. So check out the Geek's Handbag on YouTube,
Indeedy.
Twitter, X, whatever it's called. All of those things.
All the things, just go and do that.
Go and do it.
Is the moral of the story. I think the last one you put out was the vinyl. Was it the vinyl set?
The Moonbase vinyl.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. But I found some, because over here in the US, quite often I don't find a lot of merch, Doctor Who merch, you know. But I don't know. I've just had a good run recently. I found a really cool comic, the first appearance of the Doctor in this Marvel comic. I'm going to do a little video on that, and some good finds that I found. And I thought, right, I need to start making some videos again. So that's why I'm kind of excited. I kind of fired up. I feel like this little break has, got me fired up to get back into the pod and do some videos and stuff. So yeah, they'll all be out. I don't know how long they'll take to edit. It'll probably be next year now, but no, they will be. They'll be coming out soon, hopefully. Yeah.
Good stuff, dude. So go and check out Adam's content. He's on the socials as well. Same name, the Geek's Handbag. Go and chat all geekery stuff with him.
Indeed.
Before he blocks you for insubordination.
Or gets bored again and it's like, oh no, actually I'm fed up. Because I've got some great videos that are just half edited that are now years old. Like I think I've got a Stones of Blood location video that I've been working on for about 10 years, and it'll probably never come out. And I'm going to do like a series called From the Geek's Vault, because you'll be able to tell because I look probably 10 years younger in them. But I have got some great stuff in there. Just very lazy when it comes to editing. I hate editing. But yeah,
it's one of life's necessary evils.
Yeah,
I think it's the word.
It's got to be done.
Yeah. Before we kick off with news, dude, just want to say I'm very excited. I got a new book delivered today.
I saw it. Yeah,
The Chimes of Midnight. The Big Finish story is now in novel format, and it's written by Robert. Rob Sherman. We've chatted to Rob a few times at the old the BFI events. He's a lovely chap.
Nice guy.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one, mate. It's one of those hardbacks because I typically go for paperbacks in books generally, but it's one of those hardbacks where it's not too thick and chunky, like you feel like you have to invest the next couple of years to get through it. It's a reasonably sort of mid-sized book, so not too intimidating. Yeah,
I saw the picture on your socials. It looks really nice, actually. It's a great story. I really like Chimes at Midnight. It's one of my favourite Big Finishes, actually. It's a good one, so it'd be interesting. Actually, mate, I've got to ask you, have you cracked open your Season 13 Blu-ray yet?
Of course.
Ah, cool. So what...
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole here, but I have been seeing, because obviously I'm in the US, I haven't got to... I'll be back in the UK in December, so I haven't got to see mine yet, or open it, or have a look at it, or do anything, but I've been seeing a lot of chatter about this AI upscaling, and as I said, without going down a rabbit hole, have you got to check any of that out yet? Have you got any thoughts on it? You watched any of the special features? Give me a little rundown on it.
A little rundown. So so I've watched 2 of the stories from it, because we already watched Terror of the Zygons at the BFI, so I wasn't in a huge rush to re-watch that again. I will watch it again, but not immediately. So I've watched the Brain of Morbius.
Oh, brilliant!
Which is one of our faves, and the Seeds of Doom.
Oh, great story.
So, yes, those are the 2 that I've watched of it so far. The next 2 I'm going to watch is the Pyramids of Mars and the Android Invasion. They're the next 2 for me, and then I'll watch Terror of the Zygons and Planet of Evil another time. But of the 2 episodes that I have watched, and also, I've also watched. There was a trailer for it that we saw at the BFI, which is called Worlds Within, and it's a profile of Ian Marter.
Oh, great.
That was a really cool sort of mini documentary, and that was quite emotional, that one. That was pretty cool. And then I also watched this thing called Return to 13 with Philip Hinchcliffe, goes back to all the locations throughout season 13. And I won't spoil it, but a few people turn up and there's a few conversations and stuff like that. So... and I've also watched Tom Talks, which is a brand new interview with Tom Baker, where he talks about his memories of season 13 and some other bits and bobs. He's really funny in it. He's so funny in that one. So that was good. But going back to the episodes themselves with this AI thing, there are a couple. There's a couple of scenes, and it's really weird because it's not a consistent thing. You don't watch an episode from start to finish and everything looks like it's upscaled. It's weird. There's just a few scenes here and there where you look at it and you think, oh, yeah. Anyone that's seen that before in any previous release, that it used to happen a lot back in the day when they did like a brand new release of a film for Blu-ray or for 4K Blu-ray, and you'd see loads of complaints online for people saying the image is too clean, or like the skin tones look really waxy and they look false and all that stuff. It's got that kind of feel to it, but it's not like retina burning, like, oh my God, like the AI has gone absolutely berserk. It's not that bad, but there are a few scenes here and there that I've noticed in each of the episodes where I think, right, okay, that's obviously been upscaled with AI. And then there's some other scenes where it's like that obviously hasn't been. So it still looks reasonably clean and you can tell they've done a little bit of work to it, but it looks a bit more natural. But so I think it's kind of plagued with these odd little bits and pieces where it's very difficult to say why that's happened though, because in general, as you know, mate, all the previous box sets that we've watched and I think you've watched pretty much everything on all of these box sets. Yeah. So not once have you ever said to me, mate, this looks pretty ropey with some of this upscaling and whatever. So I think it's the first time that they've either experimented with this, with some kind of AI upscaling, or the other possibility is that it's not AI at all. Somebody has used some image sort of cleanup technology, but they've just gone a bit hard with it.
Yeah.
You know, they've just gone a bit OTT, that kind of thing. So it's a great set, mate. Don't you know, it hasn't hampered my enjoyment of anything. It's still, you know, it's great. It's fantastic. But yeah, there's just a couple of little points a couple of little moments where you do feel like, looks a little bit ropey.
Of all the sets to do it, though, I mean, this has got to be one of my favourite seasons of all the sets to start playing around. I mean, the thing is, the Android Invasion and Zygon seem to be the two that people have specifically noticed it. So it'd be interesting to see what you think when you've watched the Android Invasion, because that does seem to be the one that people have said, oh, you know, there's like a finger goes missing in one shot, and apparently Sarah's face almost goes missing or something. I don't know. That seems to be the one that people are really picking up on. But I'm going to, as I said, I won't get to see it for another month or two. But I'm not going to get too hung up on it. I am disappointed to see what I'm hearing. But one thing I will say, mate, like you've just said, the extras on these sets make them worth buying for them alone. And that, you know, I'm just so looking forward to getting stuck into those special features when I'm back in the UK. So yeah, it's a shame if there are bits on there which I don't approve of, but you know, yeah, it's just, of all the sets, season 13, that's the one that these sets have become like the gold standard, haven't they? They've been so good every release. So it's just a shame if they've sort of tried something new and it hasn't exactly worked. But yeah, I'm not going to let it ruin my enjoyment, I don't think. I don't know. I'll let you know when I watched it. But yeah, it's cool. The special features are always cool though, so I'm looking forward to those.
They are. There is, yeah. And I've seen some of the chatter like you have online about, as you said, specifically the Android Invasion and Seeds of Doom, I think is the other one that people have noticed a lot of things. But the ones that I've seen, I've only noticed a couple of bits, put it that way. But I will report back though after watching those other two this weekend. Yeah,
let's put it this way: I won't be throwing it out the window when I get back. I'll try and stay calm about it. Just we're almost doing like a merch section here, mate. Just before we wrap this up, I hear the season 10 soundtrack might be going. It was announced and then nothing, wasn't it? It's like teased by the BBC. Do you think they put that out early by mistake or what? Because there's been no date or nothing since. But does it look like we're finally going to get that?
I think we are going to get it early next year. So. Yeah, I think. Here's the thing that's going to happen though, right? That's going to land. and nothing will happen.
Yeah.
It will land. People will add it to their Spotify playlist or Apple Music, whatever they listen to, and then nothing. And then you'll be at an event somewhere or a con, and you're chatting to people. You're like, oh, do you listen to the Series 10 soundtrack? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
I just, every time I get an email from Silver Screen Records, I'm like, is this it? No, it's the Hobbit soundtrack or something like that. Oh, yeah. The soundtrack to Bergerac. I'm like, oh, God, where's the season 10? But it does look like it could be happening, which is good news.
Yeah, oh, mate, that is so true as well, because Silver Screen are very good.
Oh, they're great.
But their catalogue is a lot of... It's quite varied, yeah. Well, it's varied within the niche of like classic TV and all that stuff. So yeah, when you get an email, it's like, oh, this could be it, lads. This could be the one. And then like you said, it's like Bergerac or Midsummer Murders soundtrack or something like that.
That's right,
like, for God's sake. But do you know what, mate? I can't even remember. I'm sure it's got a few belters on there, but I can't really remember in great detail some of the musical moments from Series 10, but
we don't know what Murray's picked. I mean, people say, oh yeah, that theme, Clara's theme in episode whatever was brilliant. Murray might not put it on there. He might be in one of his moods. No, they're not having it. They can have this little 20-second piece of music instead. Who knows what he's going to put on there. So yeah, until we've got it, I can't get too excited.
Oh, I love that, mate. He might be in one of his moods.
He could be in one of his strops, a Murray strop. You're not having it.
This is true.
Just that screechy version of the theme, 10 versions of that, of the 12th Doctor theme. That's what we'll get.
Yeah, a 13-hour track of just that opening 10 seconds on repeat.
Never liked that theme. That screechy violin.
Oh, dear. So that's merch. Oh, we're missing Dalek Tat, aren't we?
I know. He got mentioned on the round table. I think that's why I've been thinking about him a lot lately. He's never far from my thoughts.
Same, yeah. The times that we've attempted to contact him have just been met with just blanks. He just blanks us now.
Yeah.
So
he's left the WhatsApp group. He's just not. Yeah, he's not playing ball.
No, he'll come back. He'll come crawling back.
He will
one day. Yeah, when he realises where his bread's buttered, he'll come back.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, merch and news corner. Merch corner, that's done. Let's talk about some news, bud. Doctor Who. For now, the future is safe, regardless of streaming partners, etc. So I'm sure you've read this, mate, and our listener, you've probably read this already, but I'll just very quickly recap the story that landed officially from the BBC. They have said, and this comes from the director of drama at BBC, Lindsay Salt. She says, "We would like to thank Disney Plus for being terrific global partners and collaborators over the past 2 seasons and for the upcoming The War Between the Land and the Sea. The BBC remains fully committed to Doctor Who, which continues to be one of our most loved dramas, and we are delighted that Russell T Davies has agreed to write us another spectacular Christmas special for 2026. We can assure fans the Doctor is not going anywhere, and we will be announcing plans for the next series in due course, which will ensure the TARDIS remains at the heart of the BBC." So that was from Lindsay Salt, and I guess 2 main things to unpack from that, dude. The first one being that Disney Plus have been hoyed out the door, and the second one is that the next bit of new Doctor Who we're going to see is going to be Crimbo next year, 2026. So what are your thoughts on the Disney stuff first of all then, dude?
Well, I'm not surprised at all that Disney have pulled out. I think I've just been expecting to hear that ever since Series 2 finished. So I'm not at all surprised they've jumped ship, mate. I can't say I blame them, in all honesty. But it is nice to get confirmation that new Doctor Who is going to be made. I think that's the important takeaway from this, because I'll be honest, it did feel like we were going to be in for another wilderness years, and quite a long one. So to know we're getting a special next year, yeah, it's only one special that's been announced so far. It does just say, you know, Doctor Who's still being produced. So we're not in for like a 3 or 4 year wilderness years. Obviously, Russell's writing it. I know that's come under some criticism. I personally would like to see Russell step away from the show now, but I don't mind that he's writing this special, because I think the way he left the show at the end of the last season with the reality war and Billy Piper and all that, to be quite frank, I think it was a mess. And I think he needs to come back and sort that mess out. And I just hope he delivers something fun and enjoyable, kind of reminds us what we liked about him in the first place, because I can't sugarcoat this, mate. He has damaged his reputation within Doctor Who fandom. There's just no doubt about that, you know, considering how much we loved his first era. So, I think it's right that Russell comes back to have one last sort of stab at the, you know, one last episode to tie up his second era. Some of those loose ends, I don't know if he's going to do all of them, but yeah, I think it has to be him. You know, as much as I want to see him move on and someone new come in, and I'd like to see a new creative team with the show going forward and all of that, I do feel like, and I say this as someone who's, you know, really sort of fallen out of favour with Russell's writing, I do feel like he deserves that, at least, to come back and finish his era up. You know, it would be terrible if it ended with the reality war, mate. Because where do you go from that? I think when Rob Shearman got criticised recently for saying the show's as dead as it's ever been, what he was saying was, you know, the way it's been left, where do you go from there? And I think the only person that can actually do that at this point is Russell. But when that special's done, mate, I would like to see a lot of change, to be honest. But I'm just happy that we're getting another special. And I think it's right that Russell comes to write it and finish up his era. That's what I'm hoping. If we get a Series 3 announced and he's still in charge, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, but if it's just one special of him doing that, I think I'm here for it, you know. And it's nice to get confirmation. I mean, there's been a lot of chatter since the reality war, mate, that Doctor Who is dead. You know, there are certain YouTubers out there that have had a field day telling everyone that the show is dead in the water. And to be honest with you, I can't blame a lot of them. That's exactly how it felt. But this is still an important brand for the BBC, and I think that's what we have to remember. So when you've got not only YouTubers, but tabloid stories and everything telling the public that the show is dead, they do need to come out and just say, no, it's, you know, it's all good. Well, maybe not all good, but Doctor Who's still important to the BBC. You know, enough for them to want to fund a Christmas special when, let's face it, the BBC isn't in the best place financially. You know, we all know that they probably need a streaming partner to actually make a full series of Doctor Who. So the fact that they're committed to making a special for Christmas just tells you that Doctor Who's still important to them. And I think that's important in itself, you know, for the fans to know that the show is still important to the BBC and that they're not just saying, oh, well, you know, the ratings were low, you know, everything in the news is telling you the show's dead, so we're just going to push it under the carpet and let it die. They're not doing that. They're saying it's still an important brand for them to get behind. So that in itself, I think, is promising.
Yes, I agree. I think that's probably the best part of the story, to be honest with you, is not expecting sort of in-depth information on the stuff or the fine details on it all, but just the BBC saying, you know, just chill, everybody. You know, your beloved show is our beloved show as well, and it's not going anywhere. It's, you know, it's all good. So I think that was an important statement, and they needed to make that statement as well, because you know what it's like, Bud, with fandom and online echo chambers and all that stuff. As soon as you start drifting into territory where there's no official news from anybody, fans just run away with everything. Every tiny little thing they run away with, and then before you know it, things that were just whispers and things that were people who had just put fake stuff out there starts to gather steam like a snowball, and then before you know it, you know, everybody's like, yeah, Doctor Who's being cancelled. and that becomes almost gospel because somebody started it and people picked it up and ran with it. And that was a thing. There was an article that went out on the Telegraph actually yesterday, just to get a bit of a different opinion on that though. One of the writers over there, a guy called Alexander Larman, the title of his story was "It's Time to Put Doctor Who Out of Its Misery."
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so the Telegraph were reporting that yes, the news from the BBC is welcome, but he then goes on to say that the best thing for the BBC would be to cancel the show completely as it's been hijacked to woke propaganda. And so they've gone down that road where, as far as, their view is that the show has reached a point where whether you want to blame Russell or you want to blame some of the other writers or producers, whoever, they feel like the show has got to a point where it's nobody knows who the show's made for anymore. You've got teenagers who equally love and hate the show. You've got boomers, the older generation who have grew up throughout Classic Who and everything, and they're just like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I like it, but at the same time, I don't know what's going on. And then you've got millennials who are like, it's woke as hell. What are they doing, sort of thing. So you've got all this stuff going on within fandom. Gone are the days, mate, where it was like an episode went out and people just liked it or didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Now it's like, the whole world's on fire if somebody doesn't like it. So I do remember, though, you and I saying, this was probably about 10 months ago, something like that, when we were talking about, okay, what do we feel is going to happen post Shooty? I think we spoke about it just after the finale and everything, and Shooty was announced that he was leaving and all that. And I remember saying to you, mate, I think they should rest the show. I think they should put it on hiatus and give just a bit of breathing room for everything.
Yeah.
So I guess you could call it not a hiatus, but that's another question for you. If the next brand new bit of Who is not out till Christmas next year, do you feel like that's enough of a break? Or are you happy with that? Or would you rather just like 2029 or something, 2030 will come back with a fresh start?
Well, I'm not getting any younger, mate. But I mean, for me personally, this is where I'm at with the show. I really did not like the last series to the extent that I don't think I ever want to watch that series again. I mean, there might have been the odd episode that if it was on TV, I'd sit there and watch it, but I'm not going to seek out any episode from the last series. Not just because of the episodes themselves, just the direction the show's gone in, and I just, it doesn't appeal to me anymore. It's gone away. I don't feel like I'm watching the Doctor land on planets and meet aliens, and it just feels like a very different show to me. And what I have to say here, by the way, is I don't expect Doctor Who to be made for me. You know what I mean? So I'm quite happy to say, yeah, Doctor Who isn't for me anymore because it's not the show I enjoy. It's fine. It's got its own sort of core fans, if you like, that enjoy that era. It's not for me anymore, mate, because it's not. I want to see Doctor Who get back to more science fiction and a lot darker and less soap opera. That's just my personal view, right? I think I'll always watch Doctor Who, but there's a difference between watching it and enjoying it. And I don't think I've really enjoyed Doctor Who for a while now, in terms of really loving it. So that's what I mean. I'm happy for Russell to come back and finish up his era. I would love to see the show. It doesn't need another rest after 2036. I just want to see a new team come in and really freshen it up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As much as I didn't really enjoy the Whittaker era, the one thing I'll give it absolute credit for is they tried something new, and they certainly tried to refresh the brand. Whether it worked or not is down to your own opinion. So I feel like it definitely needs a refresh after Russell's special. But I don't know if I'm going to get the sort of Doctor Who that I want to see anymore, mate. I don't know if I'm going to get that feeling I get when I watch the classic era and even the first RTD era and the Moffat era. I still get a certain feeling about the show from that era, but I haven't had that feeling for quite some time with Doctor Who. So I think for myself, I've either got to accept that the show has changed and moved on and it doesn't necessarily appeal to me, or I hope that some new team will come in and bring it back to the sort of Doctor Who that I like. And again, I don't want to be selfish about this. I don't expect the show to be made for me. That's just what I'd like to see. Whether that happens or not after the 2026 special is a totally different thing. I don't want to see Doctor Who disappear for another 3 or 4 years, mate. I don't, I do think it needed a rest, but I think that, that year that we've got between now and the new special is enough for me. Yeah, where it goes after that, we'll see. And just to say again, mate, even if I'm not in love with the show, I think I'll always love it enough to keep watching it. And I think that's proof just from the last series. I thought the last series was, quite frankly, diabolical in places, but I still stuck with it. And there was still stuff in there that I did enjoy, So I think I'll always love the show. But it's just not, it's not the sort of Doctor Who that I personally want anymore. But yeah, let's see where it goes. I just want to see a fresh team come in, mate. I really want to see some fresh talent and a new showrunner, somebody who wants to get it back to science fiction and less soap opera. That's what I'd like to see. But yeah, but I don't want to see it go off the air for years. No, I don't. I don't want another hiatus. It did need a rest. I think a year's long enough.
You think a year's long enough?
I do. I don't want to see, after 2026, I don't want it to be, it's coming back in 2028, 2029. I think, let's get the ball rolling with a fresh team and get the excitement back. That's what I'd like to see.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think, I would advocate for a longer break than that.
You would?
Because I don't think a year's enough for a brand new team. Because the other thing that we're still unsure of, not that we necessarily need to know at this point, but we're not sure if this is Russell's last story.
No, we're not.
Or if he's, after the Christmas special, he's just going to come back and it's going to be season 3 of his era of Doctor Who with just a new Doctor. Or if he's going to... there has been some chat over the last few weeks about, and I think this is wrong, by the way, that Russell has been sacked from the job. I personally don't feel like he's been sacked. I feel like this is like a natural conclusion to this part of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
With Ncuti leaving, Disney Plus leaving, and that sort of thing. So I think the Christmas special is probably going to be, when he did The End of Time, Part 2, and we had that last 10, 15 minutes where the Doctor's just gone off to revisit his old mates, old companions and people that he'd seen throughout his era. And it was like a layered thing, wasn't it? Where it was David Tennant's Doctor sort of saying goodbye. But it was also Russell bringing his era of Doctor Who sort of full circle. So I think we're going to have something similar to that. That's what I think. I think Russell will write this in a way that it won't be as emotionally charged as that was, but it will like bring his era, this era, second one, round a little bit, and then it will be a handover to whoever's going to pick up the mantle next and make Doctor Who from that point onwards. But
that's what I'd like to see happen, in all honesty, mate. That's what I would like to see.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd like to see him and do that, if he wants to bring out the greatest hits, because that's the other thing. Who's going to be the Doctor in the special? Is it going to be Billy? Is David coming back, which is heavily rumoured, and I can totally see that happening. Bringing out the big guns, Tennant and Piper back together, just like he did with David and Catherine Tate. You know what I mean? It might create a bit of buzz for people who loves that era. I can see that happening. I wouldn't be against it happening either. You've got the 15th Doctor floating around there, sitting in his garden. I don't know what he's been doing while all these invasions have been going on, but fair enough. Bring him back, have a bit of nostalgia if you want, Russell. Let's do it. I'm absolutely fine with that, mate, to be honest. I know people will be like, oh, it's so stale, it's so boring. They're right, but we're at this point now where, something's got to be wrapped up. So why not bring them back? That's what I can see happening, Tennant and Billy, but... I'm fine if they do that. Yeah. I'm absolutely fine if they do that.
Yeah, defo. That part of it, on the same page as you, mate. Yeah, that'd be totally cool. My thought on moving forward after that, though, is that a year to me is not long enough to properly to properly embed a new team. Because if you think about once the Christmas special's gone out in 2026 at the end of next year, if we're saying that we want a year's gap and there'll be new Doctor Who on the screens the following year, I don't feel like, because it takes a good sort of 6-7 months of production in both sort of filming, the actual cameras rolling, and then sort of editing, visual effects and all that jazz. It takes a good 6-7 months for all that to happen. So what we're saying is, once the Christmas special has gone out, that only gives a brand new team a few months really to properly take stock of what's going on. And so for me, this is what I would personally love to happen, would be once the Christmas special's gone out, there's nothing at all in 2027. Literally nothing. All it is just a new creative team just going through the motions of like, okay, here's everything that we feel has worked for Doctor Who over the past however many years, 5-6 years, whatever. Here's everything we feel works really well. Here's all the things that we feel fandom gravitates towards. Here's all the research we've done. We feel like fandom loves all these elements of the show, and they're not so keen on these elements of the show. And then here's the things that we personally as a creative team want to do. And then how do all those three things align together? Like, how do they take like the best bits, the not so best bits, but at the same time, how do they take some risks as well? So it's not just like pandering to fandom. I'm not suggesting they do that, but they also look at, what's going on and then take some risks with it as well. Have something brand new. I feel like, and I'm no expert, but I feel like that's a good chunk of a year's worth of work.
Yeah.
And then go through all that, and then you kick off your production to put stuff out in 2028. That would be my ideal thing for me, dude.
When you put it like that, mate, I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. Because I think that's the thing. How will Russell end this special? Is he going to hand it over to another team, or is he going to just, do like a fake out regeneration, which he nearly did with Shooty? I almost feel like that would have been better if he'd have just done that. Just, had Shooty start to regenerate, forget the Billy thing, but he didn't, so... How's he going to end the 2026 Christmas special? Is there going to be a new team in place at that point? Are we going to get a new Doctor? Is Russell going to choose that new Doctor? There's so much uncertainty around this special. It's kind of why I'm excited for next year again now, because it's going to be nice to get those breadcrumbs, isn't it? Like, leading us into what's going to happen in this special. Who's going to be in it? Who's the Doctor? Is there a new Doctor going to be announced? Is Russell going to be writing for that Doctor? There's a lot of questions going to be answered next year, so I'm excited for that, and I think it's interesting in the wording of the article announcing the special. It says Russell has agreed to come back to write it, which does suggest he's moved on and he's agreed to come back and, as I say, hopefully wrap up his era. So I think that's interesting wording, isn't it, that he's agreed to come back. It does suggest that after the special there's going to be a new showrunner. Who that is, I don't know. Have you got any names that you could throw out there of someone you'd want?
Not off the top of my head.
Pete McTighe. Is it McTighe or McTee? He often gets thrown out as a name, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's too close to it, though, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic producer and writer and everything, but my gut says that we need somebody proper brand new.
Yeah.
Somebody who's never written for Doctor Who before, has seen it, is aware of it, but has never been involved before. I just feel like we need someone brand new.
In terms of a fresh break, mate, I think I have to agree with you. Because I think that's what Doctor Who needs right now. It does need a complete break from what we've had the last few years. It does, we need new names, no one really connected to RTD or anything like that, just to make it feel fresh and bring people, have people to have, to be excited for something again. I think if you keep giving them the same names, the same people, curiosity, that's the word I was looking for. We need people to be curious and interested in the show again. And if you keep throwing out the same names, like, I like Pete McTighe, but you put his name out there and people instantly think RTD or Chibnall because he's connected to that era. So a fresh break, I think, is needed. The guy from, I think it's Babylon 5, has showed a lot of interest in writing the show. I don't know his name, so I've not watched Babylon 5, so I'm not like a big fan or anything, but people will know. So I don't know what he'd be like, and if he's keen to do it. Obviously he's got that more science fiction, he's more of a science fiction writer, I assume. So even though I don't know who he is, I like the fact that he's interested in doing it, and I think somebody like that might be interesting because, I think you'd get a science fiction show from somebody who was, has written for Babylon 5. I don't know if you've ever watched it. I'm not familiar with it. I think I've seen about 2 episodes. So I don't know what he's like as a writer, but he's obviously quite renowned, right?
Yes, so that would be Joseph Michael Straczynski.
That's the one.
Also referred to as JMS. So I'm not really aware. I haven't really watched many things that he's written for screen, but I am a huge fan of his comic book writing.
Ah, okay. So that sounds promising.
Yeah, so he did a massive run on Spider-Man back in the, when was it? It was back in the 2000s, early 2000s. Did a really long run on Spider-Man, and I've got a couple of the omnibuses of that. Very, very good. I think Babylon 5 is what he's most known for on screen, as well as a series called Sense8, I believe.
Sense8? No,
Sense8, yeah. Both of them really well done, as far as I know. I have seen a few of his films, so that he had sort of co-writing duties on. So World War Z was really good.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah, and also, what was it, one of the Underworld films, I think. Don't quote me on that. So, I think somebody like that would be really good because the sci-fi chops and everything would be there, right? He would have a great sort of grounding in what makes a good science fiction show after working on those things. I can guarantee you, though, mate, that there would be a huge immediate backlash of criticism because it's an American writer.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, mate. Whoever gets chosen, there's going to be criticism. It's just the way fandom is these days. It's like you're never going to please anyone. But I just would like to see somebody like that given a crack at it. And those shows and that you've mentioned, that's really promising. That's the kind of thing I want Doctor Who to be more like. I think that's sort of just more science fiction. I keep saying I just want it to get back to being more like season 13 from the top. That's the kind of Doctor Who I like.
Yeah, and it wouldn't bother me if we had an American writer. That bothers me zero.
Yeah, same. No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, no problem with that. The other people that I'd like to see do it would be, the Duffer Brothers who do Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think they would have a real good crack at it because they're like the masters of like cinematic TV for TV, if that makes sense. Like every single episode of Stranger Things looks like a proper blockbuster film.
And the last series was phenomenal, wasn't it? It was so good, the last series. Because, I mean, series 2 did peter off a bit for me. I thought, I'm not sure about it. Or was it season 3? I can't remember. One of the seasons I thought, it's lost its way a bit. But the last season, Stranger Things, my word, it was something else. I'm really hoping the finale season that's coming up justifies, it is as good, because I don't know how they can top the last season, if you know what I mean. But it was phenomenal. I'd love to see those guys have a crack at it. That'd be amazing. Yeah, even if they did like a one-off, you brought them in to do a one-off to, I'm not suggesting they're showrunners. I think they would be quite expensive. But I think they'd be, even if they partnered, actually, I don't know if they partnered with Netflix, then, because I know the Duffer Brothers have got a very good relationship with Netflix. I think if the BBC, now that Disney Plus has been set on fire, I think if Netflix came on board, that wouldn't be beyond, impossibility. I think, that could be a thing. I've got a vision of Mickey Mouse running around a burning house now. Just like that. Put the fire. Yeah, no, they would be cool, mate. They would be good.
Yeah. There's probably a bunch of names people who have never worked on Who before that would be very good. And yeah, I honestly feel like we need somebody like that. It wouldn't be the end of the world, if like, I don't know, if one of the existing people took a shot at it, like Phil Collinson or we were saying Pete McTighe or those sort. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But yeah, the only thing with that is that they come with plenty of baggage, don't they?
That's the word, mate. Yeah. Baggage. I mean, even the Mothball, who I absolutely love, Stephen Moffat, but he needs to he's done some great stuff. Go down the pub, get a pint or a glass of red, wherever you prefer, and just sit back and just feel happy that you've submitted some great Doctor Who to us, and that's enough. You don't need to keep coming back. The thing is with a fresh name, mate, is it would excite people as well. I think there's a lot of people out there that have sort of fallen out of love with the show, and I count myself sadly in that a little bit. And I think you throw a fresh name out there as a showrunner, maybe even a name that you're not familiar with, it instantly intrigues you. Oh, who's that? What have they done? Oh, what are they? What could they do with the show? So I think that's what we need right now. Well, that's what we need at the end of 2026. Is we need that spark of excitement over something new coming, but also something familiar in terms of the show. Yes, agreed. One other thing, mate, I forgot to ask you when I was talking about which Doctor we might get and Russell wrapping up his stuff. And there was a name that I forgot to say that I'm hoping we're going to see in the 2026 special. And that's Susan. Because I feel like that thread... Well, I think if RTD is going to do it, I think he should follow through with the Susan arc that he obviously planned. Because I'm still gutted that we didn't get to see her in the final, even though I think what we've heard would have been the scene doesn't sound that great with her stood watching the Doctor from afar and all that with a kid who calls her mum, is it? I can't remember. Yep. Some strange ending that Russell had filmed. So anyway, yeah, I would like to see Susan. I think Susan, Billy and David. Again, it's all a bit stale, but I'd still go with it. I still think that would be interesting. I'd watch it for sure. So do you want to see Susan back for that special, or are you kind of done with that? Mate. Yeah, I wasn't groaning because I wasn't into the idea. I was more kind of like, because it honestly felt like she was going to play a much bigger part in that, because it seemed so random the way that they left it to bring back somebody like Susan for like one frame. Oh, it's ridiculous. Well, it's more than a frame, but like literally just 5 seconds of screen time. Yeah. And that's it. It's like, that's so random and weird to do that. There absolutely is more to that story that we didn't see regarding Susan, which I think we're all aware of anyway. There's no way that she would come back just for that one line and that small bit. So I would love to see her back to finish off, like I mentioned earlier about Russell likes to do this thing where he brings everything to a nice, neat sort of close almost. I feel like that would be such an epic, big-ass close out to this modern part of Doctor Who. And they could really set the stage for something properly brand new moving on from that. They could really put a big sort of creative stamp in a line in the sand and say, right, okay, everything from this point onwards. I don't know, mate. Maybe it's just like everything from this point onwards is something that you've never ever seen in Doctor Who before. So sit tight. We've got some good new stuff happening. My gut tells me on this one though that it will be a cliffhanger, and we'll have some RTD baggage carried over to whatever comes next for Doctor Who. That's what I want it not to be the case, but I feel like that's going to be the thing. Yes, I also have that gut feeling. I really hope we're both wrong, but I have that gut feeling as well. But do you know what, mate? The more I'm thinking about this, the more we're talking through it, and the more I'm picturing, like you said, but like the end of time ending that Russell gave to his first era, if he could sort of somehow capture a little bit of that magic again, if we just got a really nice episode from him, and it kind of, I'd forgive a little bit of, fan service, if you like, him throwing in a few old companions, maybe, bring back a few characters just to say bye, even if it's a bit of a copy of the End of Time. I don't mind, because I think, it would be nice just to have that feeling again if he can get it right. We used to say
Jack.
Well, I don't think we'll see Captain Jack back, but you never know. But we used to say how good Russell was at writing, emotion, didn't we? And that's what I've been missing. Yeah. It's not made me feel much apart from anger and annoyance mostly. But it'd be nice to feel a warm glow at the end of the 2026 special, wouldn't it? Even if it's a bit cheesy or a bit, I wouldn't care if I felt something other than disappointment. I would be happy. With that.
Same. Yeah, exactly that, mate. Because I do kind of miss those scenes where you come away from Doctor Who thinking, I've just been punched in the gut emotionally, and I'm going to be thinking and talking about this for ages now. And if we like both sides of it as well, like the real sort of raw emotional stuff. Remember when we had that scene where Wilf is trapped in the
glass box,
in the glass case, and the Doctor realizes that the only way to save him is to sacrifice himself in the other one. And when the Doctor's on the floor and he hears Wilf tapping on the glass, those 4 knocks,
he's like, had to be you.
Yeah, you know, things like that where you're
I
like,
still remember it. That's what I mean. It's
word for word, and also the music that was happening as well, and everything like that. There were a few scenes in Shooter's era where they tried to do that, but I feel like it didn't quite. I don't remember those last 2 seasons and those in the same way that I do, like what I've just mentioned with that Wilf scene and stuff like that. And then the other side of the coin is just the good old fashioned. And I don't want to turn this into like a throwing shade or a bashing thing, but when Murray Golds used to have that big sort of bombastic tune when they were just literally running away from somebody down a corridor, and it was either Matt Smith's Doctor with I Am the Doctor playing, or just a big sort of theme with Tennant's Doctor legging away from something, and it's just got that fun, exciting sort of thing. I want to come away with those kind of things again.
Yeah, I mean, even you just describing that scene, mate, made me feel something. Like I said, it instantly brought up the memory of what the Doctor says. I mean, one of my favourite ever scenes, makes me cry every time. I love watching it. Is the 9th Doctor hologram scene where he tells Rose to have a good life, and it's just there's one shot where he turns his head and looks at. Just even thinking about that scene makes me feel quivery and emotional. And it's how old now, that scene? It's still embedded in my brain. Again, I don't want to get into bashing the shoot here. I'm not, we're not going there. But there's nothing I can think of off the top of my head that made me feel anything near that. But if we can feel just something like that at the end of the 2026 special, I hope it gets a title soon because I'm really struggling to say it. 2026 special. It would just be great, wouldn't it? Just to feel a bit of warmth towards Russell rather than what I felt at the end of the reality war.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Ah, dearie me. So lots to sort out, lots to do with the sort of immediate future for Doctor Who in terms of Russell putting this Christmas special together, which I assume he's written or has at least got a decent chunk of like a story treatment done or something like that, as we are sort of very quickly approaching the end of 2025. I would imagine whatever they're doing, the cameras will need to start rolling in the next few months.
Would it need to be that soon? Would they? Yeah, I was going to ask you that. When you think they'd start shooting it?
Well, it would probably need to be sort of April-ish at the latest, I would say. Yeah. So we're at the end of October now, so November, December, January, February, March, April. So 5 months. That's 5 months worth of script treatments, going around the block with all that, planning, budgets, all that jazz. So... yeah, I imagine they've got some part of it done for a story. So fingers crossed, mate, that Russell has taken... I'm not going to say that Russell's listened because we know he listens anyway.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed that Russell, you've at least taken a few little bullet points down. If you want to, we're not expecting payment for this. Take it and do with it as you will.
Yes.
Or whatever. So yeah, that's the big news that's landed in the last 48 hours, which is the BBC putting basically stamping their commitment to Doctor Who moving forward. What that looks like, nobody knows yet. The only thing we know of is the Christmas special coming up. The other bit of news that dropped, mate, was the date being brought forward for the spin-off, the war between the land and the sea. So for the last few months, everybody was under the impression that this was going to drop next year because a combination of the BBC and Disney not actually saying anything in terms of when it was going to land. So that left it a little bit in limbo. But then there was a kind of sprinkling of those sort of TV listing websites. They had seen it added to the schedule, and it listed it as 2026. So everybody was under the impression it was going to land next year. The statement that dropped from the BBC about the main story, when they were talking about the Disney Plus thing, they then went on to say that that they look forward to the War Between Land and Sea heading to BBC iPlayer and BBC One later this year. So now everyone's like, oh, okay, it's now this year it's going to drop. And then they've now put out a bit more of a confirmed statement. So Russell has said, because he's the creator, writer, exec producer on this, he said, this is a huge, spectacular Christmas treat with heroes and monsters and battles and romance in a world on the edge of disaster. And remember, watch the seas. And so I think that's like a little play on the X-Files. They used to say, like, watch the skies or something like that. But
oh yeah.
So he's basically said that this is going to be a Christmas treat. So one can assume the week of Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, around that time, it sounds like.
Yeah, it could be. Do you think they'll do a Christmas going into the new year or so? What is it, 5 episodes? Something like that? So yeah, it could be the lead up to Christmas, I reckon.
Is it 5? 6?
I don't know where I've got that from. I've just got the 5 episode thing in my head, but
it probably is, mate. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the new promo images that they've released today, actually, because I'm going to be honest, I've not been excited for this spin-off in the slightest. But something about them bringing it forward and closer to airing has sparked a little interest in me. I'm not going to lie. And they've released some new promo pics today, and they look pretty good. We can finally see a sea devil in the background. So the picture that we've had of this other creature, we're not sure what it is. They've now sort of released a sort of wider shot, and you can see 2 sea devils stood behind, this. It looks like a female creature. I don't know what that is. New design, from what I can see, mate, looks pretty good. I mean, you can't really see much, but you can see, you can tell it's a sea devil. It's definitely a redesign of the sea devil. But yeah, from what I can see from this promo pic, I'm liking the look of that. I mean, I loved the redesign in the Jodie episode. What was it called? I mean, it was the worst episode ever, but it was the redesign of the Sea Devils was really good in that episode. What was it called?
Oh, Legend
Sea Devil.
Of the Sea Devil, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked the redesign of that because they really didn't tinker too much with it. This is definitely a redesign. They've definitely changed a lot of the features, the body armor and everything. But yeah, looks pretty good. Have you seen these promo pics? Have you got any thoughts on these?
Yes, I'm looking at it now, mate. Before I do that, you are correct. So they say that this is a 5-part series.
It is 5, yeah. I thought it was, yeah.
Definitely 5, yeah. My apologies, mate. Yeah, it looks really good. They've got this full kind of key art poster, which I assume is going to be the background for the actual poster. They're going to put like the logo on the top half of it and some other bits. You see the Sea Devils sort of waist high in the sea, and they're in front of New York City, which is interesting locale for it. And the other one is Kate Stewart and the unit crew. So we know that this is basically a unit story. And then the other image that you mentioned with what looks like the lead character from the Sea Devil side, and then the other 2 Sea Devils behind her, and I'm not hating it, mate. I must be honest. I've thought, sometimes we can get a bit precious as fans with these iconic monsters and things like that, but I'm not hating it. Put it that way. I've said this for a while now. I do honestly think that this could be a really good series. This has the, stupid title aside, this has the potential to be a pretty good little series. I'm getting like vibes of early Torchwood about it. And so, yeah, it's been brought forward to Crimbo, and you'll be able to watch it. So those of you in the UK, it will be on iPlayer and BBC One, and then exclusively on Disney Plus outside of the UK where it's available. So this will obviously close out the Disney Plus BBC Doctor Who relationship. This will be their last Majugi.
Yeah, I've gone from not giving a fish finger about this spin-off to to actually I'm getting a little bit pulled in, mate. I'm definitely,
you're going to watch it just for the halibut.
Oh, boom, boom. I am. I actually feel like this is sort of needed, actually. As I said, I needed a bit of a break from Doctor Who. I've had that little break. I've kind of let my anger from the finale simmer down, because at the end of the day, it's only a TV show. And I'm now ready to get back on board and see what we've got coming up. So I am feeling a little bit of a buzz for this. Yeah, and I think as we build up to it, it's only... Was it December we said it's coming? So a month?
It's in about a couple of months, yeah.
Yep, I'm ready for it, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, no, stop now.
Yeah. And it's a good news that we've had the official news. Official.
Oh, my word.
Official news.
What's happened? Gary's been replaced with a...
What's going on?
Oh, dear.
I'm just squidding. Oh,
about. No, he's got more. There's more.
Come on. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I'm going to watch this and put my heart and soul into it.
He's been saving these up, listeners. He's been waiting for this moment.
It's all good.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stop clown fishing around. And we'll finish it up there. But we'll finish it up there.
Oh no.
And tune her in for next time. There's some more.
Listeners, I've got my head in my hands. There can't be more.
Adam's cracking up.
Oh.
He's cracking up.
No.
Come on.
No. No. Dear. Oh dear, if this is what it's going to be like reviewing this series, I don't know if I can take it when we come to review it.
What a load of Pollocks. What a load of Pollock.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, mate. Anyway. The war between the land and the sea, now confirmed very nicely with some other news that it will be landing. It says Christmas from Russell, so we are going. You should never assume, of course, listener, but we are going to assume here with an educated guess that means Christmas week somewhere.
I'm looking forward to having something to review. I'll say that. It would be nice to get back behind the mic and have a series to review again, even if it is just 5 eps. That's something, isn't it?
Indeedy.
Yeah.
Yes. All right then, bud. So after wrapping up some really meaty news for a change and having an awesome time being back behind the mic and chatting with you, bud, let's wrap it there for episode 430.
All righty.
Thank you very much, listener, for coming back and listening to another episode of The Big Blue Box. That was 430, and our breakdown and our thoughts on the news that's landed from Doctor Who, what we feel about that, our own thoughts on stuff. I hope you've enjoyed our breakdown of that stuff. You can leave a comment on the website. Head over to bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. You'll be able to leave a comment there, or hit us up on the socials. What do you think about what should happen with the future of Doctor Who? Do you feel like we should just keep the train rolling, with the tracks going down before the train has a chance to stop, or would you prefer a bit of a break and a breather for a while as well? Let us know. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all the things. Hit us up there and let us know what you think. Remember to subscribe and to follow in your preferred podcast app of choice so you won't miss this future episodes, plus the roundtables with the writing team as well. And also, talking to the writing team, make sure you check out their articles and reviews over on the website. You can also jump into our free Discord server as well. There's a link on the website. Come and chat Doctor Who over there. Bud, it's been awesome to chat Doctor Who with you once more.
It has, mate. It's been great to get back behind the mic and get some stuff off my chest. Yeah, it's been really good. Good to be back.
Indeedy, yes. So we will be back at some point to talk Doctor Who, probably 1 or 2 new stories, and then we'll dive into the War Between Land and the Sea and all those reviews, etc. So until next time, take care of yourselves and remember...